Oh, I just realized I muted. Sorry. I was just saying though, like, guys, I'm trying to get ready for this game, but honestly, I'm just sitting here like I'm still not over that last match. What the did we just watch? Like, I don't even know. So without any delay, I suppose we hop here into a brand new series, a best of 3. We now know the winner of this will face off against True in the grand finals. To the lower right, we feature the young American Blue Protoss. He is
Astrea.
And his opponent to the top left, he is the red Protoss.
Trap.
Now, being that this was a PvP and the other series was a ZVZ, we knew the finals would be a PvZ, but it is, of course, a question of whether we're going to have foreign player versus Korean or Korean versus Korean. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think Astrea's PvP is pretty darn good, but I think Trap's is better. And Trap, if he doesn't win this series, I will be shocked. But at the same time, I do believe there is a scenario where Astrea could also be the one to go to the finals. I just favor Trap pretty vigorously. We did see him regrettably fall apart to parting. You know what's crazy? I don't know if you guys saw the results of this bracket. I know like Gemini and a couple other people were talking about it. For the IEM Katowice qualifiers, Trap went something insane like 10-0 against every other player, but then like 0-5 to parting. So parting qualifies and Trap doesn't type thing. Just absolutely wild to me that that could be a scenario. But again, well, that PvP I think was a bit of an exception. I still think Trap's PvP in general is really good. And of course, the winner not only goes to face off against True, but also sorts up to get some points for this. But I think this was a fake out pylon that was placed down. Kind of cool to see. So for Astrea, you know, for those who don't know PvP, you want to find a second pylon. You scout the base, and if you don't see a second pylon at an appropriate time, you naturally assume it's because it's been placed on the map to proxy something. Trap just hid his second pylon to make Astrea overreact to the scouting information he received. Ultimately, Astrea very quickly scouted and confirmed that this was just that, a bit of a fake out, so he has instead opted to take his Nexus. And expansion timings in PvP are very important. Also, this little scuffle, Stalkers beat Adepts every single time in even numbers like this, so it's very important that Trap's already running away with these, because if they were to run to the base, they would just lose out on any fight they would take. Oh, ASD DSA 28 has redeemed Gratitudinous. Well, sir, then it is my turn, excitement and pleasure, nay, privilege, to thank you for being such a tremendous human being. You carried us in that last battle side by side with me, brothers in arms. You're, if not the handsomest, you are definitely the strongest of the viewers in Twitch chat tonight. Thank you for being Dwayne, but my Rock Johnson. Ooh, actually, this is proven to be a lot more chaotic with the Adepts than I think Astrea was expecting. As you witness here, he is cleaning it up, but in a very frustrating manner. Trap has not killed many workers, so this has hardly been, I think, worth it so far for him. But he's at least up to this point traded out because things like sentries are going down and those are very expensive. Now he goes to the probes and he's going to grab quite a few, but as said, this will get cleaned up. This puts Astrea down in probe count a little itty bitty bit. But Astrea might not be too phased by this because he's going Blink Stalkers into what is likely Disruptors. It's just kind of complementary, right? When you see Charge Lots, you see Archons. When you see Blink Stalkers, you usually see Disruptors. And despite being down and behind a little bit, this is not of an economic difference to run away with the game. Also, yo, okay, I'm going to say it right now. Just so I have this clipped. Someone clip what I'm about to say so that if I'm ever right about this, I can call it, right? I think in this sort of scenario where you've got defensive sentries, not force fields, not Guardian Shield, I think hallucinating fake probes would be one of the best things you could do to stop those Adepts. Because if you guys don't know, when you hallucinate a unit, yeah, you get a Phoenix, right? But there's two exceptions to this. If you hallucinate Zealots, you get 2 Zealots. Don't know why, but you do. But if you hallucinate probes, you get 4 probes. And I think the best way to protect probes is you can't stop them from getting mowed down by the Adepts. but to be put a bunch of fake ones in there. Can you imagine if there's 8 fake probes in a mineral line of 16? The likelihood of you losing your real probes goes down pretty significantly. Okay, I'm not a PvP expert, but I just think that's the better use of energy, in my honest opinion. But whether that ever happens or not, we'll have to wait and see. I just need to, like, I've had this as a thought for a while. I just need to, like, convince a Protoss player to do it one time on a cast so I can see whether it's a good or a bad idea. Because I've been obsessed with the idea of hallucinating probes for defensive purposes for so long. But again, I'm more of a memer than a player, so don't take what I'm saying here too seriously. We do have a depth with resonating glaives. This is a wildly strange thing to do considering what he's up against. There's this logic where they sit back further. So in a classic Zealot Archon versus, say, Adept Archon Immortal fight, the Adepts aren't clumping up and getting blasted while they're still killing Zealots a lot more efficiently than Zealots are killing them. So it's not like this doesn't have a place in the game, but just to be very clear, I don't think Resonating Glaives is that powerful. Not for where the game's at right now. Kind of more akin to Blue Flame. Like, this is a lot more dangerous to the workers than it is the army. He's kiting back, but these are immortals. I mean, if you kite too long, barrier just comes back up again. But Astrea is about to pump out 6 more gateways. I love this kind of like juke behind the action moment. He's gonna lose a lot of stalkers, but I think he was gonna lose them anyways. Okay, that got really bad towards the end. I like the idea there though, where he was gonna try and pick off the sentries. That takes away a lot of power from the attack, of course, but I think Astrea is super dead, guys. I don't want to try and raise hopes on this one. Losing those stalkers was devastating to his army supply count. What he has right now is not nearly enough to stop this, and furthered by the fact that these are resonating glaives, that charge coming from the charge lots will not be that powerful. As the Adepts are attacking much quicker, they're going to kill Zealots a lot faster. Astrea, in the immortal words of Roddy, is super dead. Those force fields too are pretty good. Yeah, look at that. Even with the Zealots right up in their face on the front line, they hold well. They trade out pretty good. And that's because upgrades aren't really here. So the Adepts just have the attack speed advantage straight up. And with that being said, that's the done game. That's a done deal. And Trap takes game number 1. I'm still, guys, is anyone else still obsessed with the true sort of game there? I'm still thinking of, I'm sorry, Trap. I'm sorry, Astrea. I'm still just thinking of true versus sort of game 3. There's so much WTF. But these games are possible thanks to ESL, and if they weren't putting us on, if they didn't take over Starcraft 2, God knows this would be just another boring, bleak year. But everything is on the up and up. So ladies and gentlemen, game number 2. He's down 1 at the moment, but don't count him out just yet. His setting is on max. We have Astrea, or should I say
Astrea.
And his opponent to the bottom right will be the red Protoss.
Trap.
Just do the Korean heart. I hate the Korean heart, though. For those who don't know what the Korean heart is, it's when you do like this with your fingers and it's supposed to make like a heart. Because this to me just looks like you're asking me for money. Huh? Oh, where's the money at? It doesn't look like a heart sign to me. But that's like a culture thing, I guess. I don't know. Yo, okay, Boomer Team 2. Hey, shut up! But also, welcome to Boomer Team 2. Logic hurts me. Logic says the probe idea was brilliant. The heart thing was just dumb. Well, no, that's what I'm saying though. Like, I grew up with the heart looking different with how you do your hands. And I guess the irony is neither of the heart options, whether you're Korean, American, or Rifkin, none of them actually look like a real heart. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but the other 6 fingers just hang in the air. I mean, kind of, they all do no matter how you... Okay, we're done with this. Let's move on. 2 minutes of delay is going to kill me because I say let's move on, and then you guys are going to say something dumb in chat in 2 minutes, and then I'm going to respond to that 2 minutes from now, and then the cycle continues. And this was always the trap we fell into with Zombie Grub, because we'd have this conversation and it should have been over, and then the chat would just like perpetrate it further. But look, I'm putting a pause on it because there's something really cool happening in this game, in my opinion. Trap has set up the precedent for this in game 1, right? In game 1, Trap made it look like he was proxying, but he did not actually proxy. Game 2, as far as Astrea is concerned, this looks like more of the same. but he's actually putting a proxy down. And if Astrea goes to check the typical locations here and here and even here, maybe over here, he won't scout the robo because it's usually not on your own side. Oh, he just clicked by it. Is this probe rallied to it? Oh no, he clicked it for like a second. Oh, is it this probe that's rallied to it? This probe's rallied to it. Okay. Crisis averted. We will actually... oh no, he clicked away. He was... Astrea's using Diva. Astrea, you deserve not to see this. Oh my god. Guys, he had clicked on it. He was... he was actually going to get it. And now he won't see it at all. This is a problem, but also not. The reason I phrased that so funny is Astrea is very suspicious that something has happened, even though he doesn't know what or where. So as he looks around the map vigilantly, he also delays his nexus. This is because he doesn't want to spend 400 minerals on defense, or on a unit, excuse me, on a structure that can't help him defend. So even if he did go for an expand, Trap would easily cancel this, soft contain Astrea to his main base, and then he would just expand himself behind it, which I think is ultimately the goal, one way or the other. But yeah, with the Immortal, there's just too much kick-ass power with this. Warp Prisms are on the way. The Stalkers are going to catch a Sentry, but the Stalkers... Well, I don't know. If you base race this, it favors Trap because the Immortal, but really, Astrea, I think, has handled this well. Trap's going to have to recall home. Oh, God. Trap really can't stay out here like this. I'm surprised he is. Because back at home, right, he's actually just unpowered the gateways. The force field breaks for a second, puts it down immediately. But Astrea, well, Trap's on one gateway of production, right? He's walking back home. Does he not have the... He's got the energy to recall. He's just choosing not to recall. Okay, recalls the Warp Prism. Oh, man. Astrea did big damage through this counterattack, which is what stopped Trap from just investing in the front lines. But Astrea's up a few more workers. Excuse me. Well, not just a few more workers, but a few more army units is what I was going to get into. Blue versus red. Blue's got power on the field, and even though there's a Warp Prism coming around to choose... Ooh, scoop up those units! Let's not forget that Warp Prism itself can be targeted if he's not careful. Robo's going to be killed straight up. The pylon's being taken care of first. Trap could expand, but right now it's a little bit precarious to do so. Even though he managed to save and hide that probe, he doesn't know whether Astrea is expanding or if Astrea is going to go all in. This is actually a really, really alpha move out of Astrea. But he's not out of the woods yet. As long as it's one base to one base play, anybody could still lose. I know that's a very funny way to phrase it, but one base is such limited economy. So a small mistake with expensive units will definitely leave a bigger impact. But I think with the shield batteries here and his own Warp Prism to give chase, yeah, look at it. Trap's pushed off immediately. The Stalkers could pursue this, but I think Astrea's best bet would just be to expand, right? Right, he's never really going to catch these units with the Warp Prism here, and he's never really going to catch the Warp Prism giving chase. So, yeah, expanding, I think, makes the most sense for both players, but the difference is Trap is going to have a little bit more difficulty expanding with the threat of those Stalkers looming right outside. But seriously, Astrea's using Diva, so I kind of hope Astrea loses this. Okay, chat, what was a bigger betrayal? Vote. I'm going to turn on Marines and Zerglings. You can build these in chat for this, okay? Build a Zergling if you feel like Husky was a bigger betrayal, or build a Marine if you think that the Diva retcon was a bigger betrayal to the StarCraft fanbase. So, again, build a Zergling if you think Husky was a bigger disappointing betrayal to the StarCraft community, doing what he did, deleting all the videos and basically making that shitty hater video, or make a Marine if you think the Diva retcon no longer being part of StarCraft, just it's a game she may have played, was a bigger betrayal to the StarCraft community at large. Let me know by building Marines and Zerglings in the Twitch chat. And for everybody else, yeah, your chat experience is about to get totally destroyed. I apologize, but also don't. Sorry, not sorry. I do like the Disruptor. I think this was a good choice. It's a way to fight from behind, which Trap is, but in a weird way also isn't, right? Because this was one base to one base for so long, the amount of workers these guys had doesn't really matter as long as they're fully saturated on a base. But now that he's bleeding out probes and he's no longer saturated on one base, that's really going to leave a mark, as Astrea will snowball ahead as his second base fully saturated, fully ready to fight. Hmm. 5 Bolt says Astrea wins. I saw this replay last week. Well, dude, I know you were doing that for a joke, but you just got banned in chat for creating a fake spoiler. You can appeal your ban on Discord, but I'm telling you right now, that's not cool and not funny. These are live games. The disruptor shot looking good. He picks up half the units, so not devastating, but still loses one of his immortals. He's not fighting with the shield batteries. Backs up to the shield batteries. It's 3 immortals to 1, though, and I feel like Astrea should hold this fight. The worst part about this for Trap is like he's really the one who needs to do damage. He's on 15 workers and effectively 1 base. The Adepts had snuck into the backside and killed a few more while this went on. So realistically, Trap wins this here and now, or it's all over and we go to game 3. This is getting a little bit greedy, stepping away from the shield batteries like this, but you see the Phoenix sitting above the disruptors. He's just waiting to pick them up and cancel their shots. Perfect play out of Astrea. Well executed. Ladies and gentlemen, Astrea, and wow, so many more Zerglings than I expected being built in the chat, but Astrea ties up the series, and we will go to game number 3. Map number 3 here for the final game between these two players. To the top left side of the map, we have the blue Protoss. He is
Astrea.
And his opponent at the bottom right will be the red Protoss
Trap.
Now, I really like that this and the other mirror matchup were exciting. Let's be honest. Let's speak frankly for a moment. Mirror matchups are some of the worst games to watch in StarCraft 2. Not always, but usually. However, the Zerg versus Zerg did not disappoint, and neither has the Protoss versus Protoss. And now the big question is, of course, who's going to finally take it. I like the consistency out of Trap, by the way, as he comes down here to hide a pylon one more time, but looks like Astrea will be the first time also reaching out of his base. I think this is for a real proxy, though. I'm pretty convinced this is a mind game pylon. No, he scouts it. Get out of here. Oh no, Astrea. You know what's so great about this? If there was a no, excuse me, I hit my microphone. I'm throwing my hands around. I'm so excited trying to speak right now. If Trap had taken a regular probe scout, there's no way he would have seen us initially. But because of his own proxy, this gives, yeah, exactly. This tells Astrea that probe came from a weird location. Why would it come from a weird location? Okay, I guess it's because you've also put a stupid pylon down. So, in a really funny mix of events, these openings have more or less canceled one another. But this actually puts Astrea in a slightly more vulnerable position than Trap, because Trap is on his side of the field. He's got the stalkers that are going to come forward, and he's the one who's going to clean out this pylon, which may actually end up supply blocking Astrea ever so briefly. We'll see if that's the case or not. He, of course, is going to try and scout with his probe, but he's being denied out of the base. So, well, the last game was pretty masterfully executed out of Astrea. Not quite the same luck here for the second game. He is going to fight for this pylon, though. Wins the first stalker fight. Oh, this is huge. The second stalker already gets 2 shots in. I take it all back. Astrea actually wins the middle of the map fight. This is a really big deal because it defends the pylon. It asserts a little bit of dominance. But also, Trap doesn't control the situation on his own side of the map like he thought he would. Everyone's obsessed with what that song during the break was called. Hold up. It's... it's by Pop Sky. And it's like 2 Y's, so Popskyy. And it's called VFR, I think. Sorry, I'm using a new... It's a stream safe service called Pretzel. I'm not really sure how their player works, but there you guys go. Anyways, this does supply block Trap ever so briefly. But Astrea removing that pylon from play, again, alpha Alpha male move. He's also finishing up his Nexus, and this is putting Trap into an all-in position. Now, Trap was okay doing this. He chose to go all in with this, but I don't know that this will work the way he wants it to. There's a lot of sentries already out, so that's force fields to buy time. That's a Guardian Shield to reduce damage. And if Astrea gets this shield battery down, I don't know if Trap can break this. And in a really wild turn of events, well, this is going to supply block Astrea. In a really wild turn of events, Astrea may take this series if Trap doesn't expand. It's okay to be behind a Nexus by a little bit, but this is by a lot. Look, guys, I've cast a lot of Starcraft 2. I've seen a lot of PvPs. I've never seen one that quite looks like this. All those probes are temporarily pulled out because he didn't have things to defend against the Adepts. Sure, he loses mining for a brief moment, but he has so many more probes at the moment that that's fine. It really is going to come down to holding this attack. Now, it looks like this is a good move out of Trap. It's Disruptors again. There's not going to be Phoenix this time to hard counter them as there were before. So even just 1 or 2 Disruptors might break this. But at the moment, I really don't think it will. The shield battery advantage here is huge. The force fields try and catch these units, but Trap counterplays by picking up with the Warp Prism. Neither player loses a single unit in that engagement. In the meantime, looks like there's a little bit of chaos in the main base. These Adepts are closing the gap. Oh, did you guys see what Astrea is doing, though? That was so sick. Okay, he gets a little complacent here towards the end, but he's picking up the probes that get one shot because the second shot will never land while it's in the Warp Prism. So yeah, he loses some mining, but instead of losing 8 or 10 probes, he only loses 6 while maintaining optimal mining. That was so stupid, but so cool. And oh, I've seen players do this one time before. I think it was Rail who did this in a PvP. This Colossus is actually so sick. The damage it brings is really whatever. The more important thing is this Colossus breaks force fields. Now, I stand by thinking Disruptor is the better option, but if there's any Ooh, wait, is that gonna get caught by the Immortal? This is huge. Immortal versus Colossus. I mean, he has to break this down here, so he doesn't have to worry about this on the other side of the map. He's gonna recall the Colossus over to the natural, so he can scoop it up with the Warp Prism, but it's too late. The Immortal does too much damage. Oh my god. Look, this isn't like a game-ending move for Trap, right? Astrea killing the Colossus is big, obviously, but this completely upsets the timing of Trap's attack. The time, the minerals, the gas that he doesn't have to replace that Colossus with. There is no attack timing for Trap anymore. Astrea happily enjoys his lead in the game now. Several workers up, sure. It's been back and forth with the economy because of harassment, but guys, this is a not Korean player that is making Trap look silly. No, I'm not gonna say this is making Trap look bad. Trap's not out of this game, but moments like that are a combination of luck and preparation, right? Or what luck is a combination of like preparation and skill or something. I don't remember what the saying is, but the point is like that was luck. No matter how you want to paint it, there's a little lucky getting there when he did. Well, the force fields are good, but they missed the Warp Prism hitting to the main base. Those force fields on the ramp are going to deny these stalkers. He'll have to lift up his own units with the Warp Prism. If he takes too much away from the defense at the front, oh, he's going to lose the pylon. Warp Prism could maybe repower the gateways if he's super worried about it, but the Adepts are going to transfer through because they have to. It's the only means to fight. On the other side of the map, though, oh, no! Okay, I think this is game, guys. I think this is game. I don't know that you come back from this. This is not 3 workers killed, but 13. And the Adepts can still transfer around to be super obnoxious. They're actually just going to fight through the Colossus laser. Because honestly, who cares? These weren't meant to get out of here alive. They're getting game-winning damage done. Trap's now on 16 workers, similar to the 15 he was forced to fight with last game. The difference being it's 2 bases instead of 1. But generically, it's the same situation. Astrea's also gone for hallucinations to scout this coming, but more importantly, he's going to have disruptors. Well, a disruptor for now. Warp Prism speed's going to be a big factor in this too, but this army there's no way to cancel this, right? There's no Phoenix to pick it up. There's no Blink to jump on top of the disruptor and focus it before the shot detonates. He's going to catch these out in the middle of the map. Ooh! Nice shot by Astrea. Shield batteries are huge too. That much hasn't changed. She hasn't had to use any of the juice up to this point. The Colossus is going to help out some, sure, absolutely. The Warp Prisms are doing some micro on both sides of this. It's kind of hard to track what's going on. We'll put the units tab up for this one. That Disrupt is the core point though, and ooh, big shot still goes off. Somehow that Colossus isn't dead, but Trap certainly is. GG, ladies and gentlemen, the upset that we were hoping for. Astrea takes the series 2-1. And I'm just sitting there the whole game. The whole game, my hands are in the air like, I just can't believe what's going on right now. But awesome play. Awesome play from Astrea.